America is a presentation of WPBS in Detroit, brought to you by public television stations, by the Stroh Brewery Company, family brewers for over 200 years, and by the makers of Soloflex.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Late Night America. Later in the program, a visit with the 1984 World Professional Bodybuilding Champion. Her name is Lori Bowen Rice. Right now, we're going to talk about your voice. Most of us take our voices for granted and we just speak. Our guest says at least half of us either misuse our voice or have an unattractive voice, and many of us, he says, speak too low. He's been called the voice coach to the stars. He's Mort Cooper. He's a voice therapist and pathologist. His book is Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. Good to have you here tonight.
It's my pleasure to be here with you. Just a pleasure to be here.
You have a nice voice. It rolls. It's it's nice to listen to.
It wasn't that way when I began.
You had a terrible voice?
Absolutely awful.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I used to talk like this. I went to college. I went to Brooklyn College in New York, and I used to talk like that. How are you? What are you doing? And I heard myself played back on a tape machine at Brooklyn College. The secretary of the speech department told me it's a new tape machine, and she says, "Be careful, Cooper." So I took the tape machine in the other room and I tested, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, and I played the tape machine back, and my voice came back just this way. It sounded just like this. So I took the tape machine right back to her, and I explained that the tape machine is broken. And she says, "You broke the tape machine, Cooper. Let me test it. Testing 1 2 3. She did the same thing. She played back the tape machine, and her voice came back exactly as she had recorded it. And she says, "Well, the tape machine is broken, Cooper, because I don't talk that way."
Oh, and a lot of people, whenever they hear themselves play back on tape, they say, "Oh, horrible. They don't want to hear it." What's going on there? What's kind of a shock is that?
That's called the sound revolution. And people today, because of tape machines, realize that they sound awful. They don't know where to go, what to do. And really, they're very traumatized. They want to change what they're doing, but they don't know where to go and what to do.
Okay, now, you heard your voice played back. You said, "This is terrible, I can't believe it," and you set about to try to improve your voice. I mean, you went to some therapists, right?
No, I took every course they had at Brooklyn College in voice and speech, and I proceeded to lose my voice because I had two well-intentioned college professors tell me to instead of talking like this, like Woody Allen, "How are you? You know, how do you feel?" and so forth like that.
Yeah.
I was talking like this. I sounded like Henry Kissinger before Henry Kissinger became popular. And I was talking deep throat. I got laryngitis, hoarseness. I lost my voice. I went to 12 MDs. Nobody seemed to understand what my problem was. I said I couldn't talk. My voice was failing. People couldn't hear me. They asked me to talk up. I had a burning sensation. I would clear my throat. I didn't realize I was deep throat, lower throat, and that's voice suicide. Finally, somebody told me what it was. I got some help, but it wasn't sufficient. It wasn't everything I needed. I went on to get a PhD in the field of voice pathology, and I made lemonade out of a lemon. And then I began to realize that a lot of people have the same problem I'm having. I didn't realize that. And then I realized that nearly half the population is looking for help. They're losing their voice. One half is talking too nasal and too thin, and they have what I call ear pollution. And the other half, basically about 25%, are talking deep throat down here in the lower throat.
You say that people like they slide into that because they want to sound provocative or sexy or that low register, and people kind of consciously go for that. The men especially think more masculine.
Not only do the men think it's more masculine, the women think it's more masculine. You have Lauren Bacall now. She's almost talking mannish at the present point. She's so low. She had a great voice years ago, but at the particular point it doesn't sound like it used to. It doesn't have that smoothness, that ease, that friendliness that it once had. Many women want to talk in a lower pitch. Anne Bancroft had that problem. She was talking deep throat, lower throat. I work with her, and Diane Carroll and Joan Rivers. A lot of the people who were the stars were doing that.
Joan Rivers. Now,
Richard Basehart.
But I mean, you say Joan Rivers, and you drop that into the conversation. Some people listening to us right now saying, "My God, she has a rather piercing, shrill voice." What did you do for her?
Well, you hear the voice that.
Or is that the stage voice?
You hear a certain voice, and that's a trademark voice.
Yeah.
And it's like the voice that you hear can come from the mask area right here. That's where all good voices come from. If you use that voice, it will have efficiency to it. If you talk down here at the point like I'm talking over here, it doesn't carry. Now, Joan Rivers was talking in the lower throat. She talks about that in the book I wrote. And we talk about that. We changed her from down here up to the mask area, and the voice then carries, and she has an effective, easy, full voice.
Okay, now, we got a couple of things going on at the same time. If I gather what you say, if people are talking way down here, you say that they're going to be suffering some health side effects,
right.
Negative health side effects.
Right.
If they're talking way up here in this register, you just say that it's socially very, very irritating.
Right. Well, it's more than socially irritating. It's sound pollution. It's ear pollution.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, you don't. Do you like to hear Sandy Duncan? Do you like Wheat Thins?
Oh, okay.
Do you like Howard Cosell? They're on the 30-yard line, that kind of... Mr. Rogers. Hello, boys and girls. How are you?
Yeah, but now when you take somebody who's that successful, I mean, any of these people that you've just mentioned, Howard Cosell, you're going to go in there as a voice coach and mess around with that? No.
Never would change them. I write that saying never change that. That's a money premium voice.
Okay. But
hold on to that. For the rest of us, you can't go around and say to me or be on any set or talk to people, how are you? Are you feeling good today?
Yeah.
Because they would laugh you right off the set. It's good for Mr. Rogers. It's good for Howard Cosell and Sandy Duncan. But for sound-alikes, copycats, it's not going to work.
Let me ask the folks at home to jump into the conversation. We're talking, friends, about your voice tonight. 313 in Detroit, 872-4040. Our guest is Morton Cooper. He's a Ph.D. He's a voice and speech therapist, and he is the author of a nice little book called Change Your Voice, Change Your Life, a quick, simple plan for finding and using your natural dynamic voice. 313-872-4040. You suggest that so many people are talking in one voice, but their natural voice is yet to be discovered. How do we go about discovering it?
I would say that 99% of our population has star quality voice, and there are very simple techniques for anybody to learn to use their real voice in seconds. In seconds.
Can you take us all through a little session now?
Not only
so
could I,
at home. Now, come on, at home. Not at home. It's just the three of us, okay?
Three of us. Nobody else is listening. Just the three of us.
Just the three of us.
Okay. Nobody else is around, right?
One person at home, because he's asleep or she's asleep, and it's just the two of us.
Okay, I got it. Nobody else is out there, so this is going to be a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Incidentally, this is in the 5th printing of the book because everybody loves the secret. Now, if I do that... Okay. Now, if I do Henry Kissinger, that's deep throat. Watch this. I feel that the situation is completely under control when you talk like that. When you talk like that, you're talking lower throat, and that's voice suicide. That's laryngitic, that's hoarseness, difficulty being heard, and so forth. To get out of that lower throat, which a lot of Americans have, men and women, you simply say spontaneously and sincerely, like you agree with me, and we're sitting in the living room, and you say, right. And the goes right around your lips and nose. Now,
that's right, Greg.
That's right. And when you say the voice goes right around the lips and nose, and the voice comes up. Now say one at the same level.
One?
That's your voice. Say it again.
One?
Right.
It's much higher.
No, it's lower. It's lower.
What do you mean lower?
The pitch is lower. It's a fuller baritone voice. You just changed your voice right on the set.
Now, wait a minute. Let's go back to do that again. I mean, this is my voice. It's 313 Detroit, 872-4040.
This is the voice that you're using now.
Yeah.
When you talked a little while before, you were a little higher pitched.
Well, now, wait a minute. I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Now, are you saying that a higher voice is my regular voice? It sounds to me like a higher.
No, I'm saying with you, a lower voice is your real voice.
A lower voice?
A lower voice.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. You have a lower voice.
Than the one I use?
That's right.
On a regular basis?
That's right.
But this is the money voice we got here.
No, that's your money voice.
This has got us this
All right,
far.
now, I'll tell you. Now, when you laugh lower.
I laugh lower?
You laugh lower.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay.
You do.
Yeah, okay.
The laugh is telling you where your real voice is.
A laugh tells us where our real voice is?
That is correct.
Okay, now once we've identified where that is...
You use a mantra or use words like I have buzzwords in the book. For instance, let me show you backup techniques to help you to get this voice, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I want you to say right like you mean right, and we're sitting in your living room, and you say right.
Right.
Now your voice dropped in pitch.
Dropped? It sounds to me like it's higher.
That's your image in your head. That's the point I write about in the book, the voice image. That's what prevents people from changing their voice.
Sounds like it's going higher?
No, to you it sounds that way, but not to the audience. To everybody else, they're hearing you go lower.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, Greg's the only other person in the room. He's in everybody's living room. Does it sound... Now, wait a minute. Give me the thing and let him say if it's higher or lower.
All right.
That sounds to me like it's my regular voice.
Now you're beginning to go lower. I want you to say really. Just say really.
Really?
Now your voice is lower. That is not the voice you began this program with. Ask.
Lower. Lower. Well, now what am I got to learn from all of this?
You have a lower-pitched voice. You can turn on All America with a lower-pitched voice. You have a whole range of sound that gives you a spectrum of sound. For instance, if I were to talk like this to you, my name is Mort Cooper, and I'm talking like this.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very nice.
That's the point. It doesn't sound very nice. But if I say, hi, my name is Mort Cooper, and I'm here, and I'm talking with you.
That sounds very nice.
But you have the same quality, the same ability as I have. You're a baritone, a very rich baritone voice.
Well, friends, I'm Mort Cooper, and I'm your guest tonight. Is that where I'm supposed to be?
No, you have some of the range in your voice. You can use some of that range. You don't want to stay there. You don't want to hold the bottom like this.
No.
But you want to use more of the lows of your voice. You use a little too much of the middle higher baritone, and if you use some of the lower baritone, it's going to sound fuller, richer, more effective, and you're going to be heard, liked, and listened